Hello everyone, it's John Neal here. It's Thursday the 12th of October 2023 and I am going to do some calligraphy with a brush. Well, for your information, the canvas I'm going to use is a regular artist's canvas, quite a thick one. I have used thinner stuff before now, sort of calico, but I find it's a little bit flimsy. But this is good. Ordered it off Amazon. I'll leave you the link. It's only about £10 for just over a metre square of it. So I've got 3 pieces from it. This is a small piece. 2 of these and one larger one, which I'll be working on. The brush I'm going to use is this 1/2 inch, that's 12mm brush, and the ink I'm going to use, I've gone for green for reasons I know, and it's the Postman letter, Zig Postman pen, chalkboard ink. It's an acrylic ink, so anything similar to this. So make sure it's well shaken up. Hang on, before I do anything else. If you get acrylic ink on clothes, it won't come out. So it's vitally important to put some cover on. I'll put my best shirt on for you for the intro, but I'm going to cover it up with this apron. It's better. Yes, the ink, green. For those of you who may or may not be interested, I'm going to do a little commission for somebody who wanted a healing prayer writing out on canvas to hang on the wall. It's going to be a wall hanging, rather like this one at the back of me, which you can't see, it's out of focus, I know. But that's the whole point. So I've actually hemmed the edge here, as you can see there, and the top will take a stick going through it. I'll just poke a pencil in so you can see the sort of thing I'm talking about. So that will take a stick through so I can hang it. And the important bit is that it is only as long as well, it's longer than I want. So as I write on the piece I'm going to use, as I go down, the bottom isn't finished off yet. So I hopefully would end up, around here on this piece, and then you can fold the bottom up accordingly. So basically left myself plenty of space at the bottom to work down the canvas and not run out of space, which is always a bit of a problem. I'm going to not use any lines. I often find if I draw lines on, which could be important to do, they're difficult to get off. I can't wash them off if it's pencil or chalk or whatever. It could be a bit awkward, so I'm not going to use that. I've done a piece here just to test it out, and you can see there's a fairly straight line, so I've managed quite well, and I think I can get the sometimes the spacing is better if you do it sort of freehand. Okay, now I've also got to work out what sort of style to use. There's either that style, which is sort of regular script, or there's the one which is back there, which is more of a, it doesn't have all the flicky bits on. I think I'm going to go for that one. I quite like it. I've looked at them both. For those who may not know, green, if we go a bit hippie for a minute, green is a sort of a healing colour. So I thought, why not use green? The green's nice and dark and opaque, works very well. Got plenty of it, so I'm going to use that. To put the ink onto the brush, what I'm going to do is just milk the ink into the container. And I've used quite a heavy one. I was using a lighter one before, but I've got to load the brush properly. So I'll dip the brush in and then scrape off. And that is just the right amount. If I just dip it in and lift it out, that's too much ink on the brush. You've got to sort of get that right. Right, let's get set up and do some lettering. this is the canvas I'm going to use. It's fairly long, as you can see. It goes right down to there, and it's that wide. And to get the layout right, and the canvas is worth about £5. You mustn't think about this too much, otherwise you never get started. This is the whole of the prayer. The first line, "Thy name is my healing," I've practiced on the back on here, so that hasn't come through, as you can see. So I can use the back of these for testing things out. That's the distance it's going to be, which on this finished canvas will be absolutely fine. And looking at this, I think I'm going to go for that style as well. It's the brush that does the work all the way through. I know you'll see this as I do it, but you know, it's the brush that just does it. And you hold the brush nice and steady at that angle, consistently all the way through, and as you go along and come off, you get these various marks, and when you go on, you get a thin off to a thick, and it's holding it in that position. You'll probably notice my fingers rarely move. Most of this is done actually with my arm. It's just like this. My wrist doesn't move either. It's all with the arm. So there's consistency about what we do. Okay, right, let's chew on it. I'm not sure whether to do the first capital T as something special. I'm just going to have a practice. So here, this is what I do for a practice or a test out. So this will just test the ink's good and the brush is good. So instead of just doing like that, I might do this. And then thy name would go like this. What do you think? I think so. I can always add to some of this later on, you know, do little bits here and there just to help it on its way. For instance, you can do extra pieces up there, which I do think that's quite nice too. Let me just try that on here, which I did previously. So where the brush is gone over once, it sort of goes slightly thin. So you do a second, you've got to make sure you get it dead on. You get a sort of a shadowy top to it. Maybe it doesn't stand out. It stands out there quite well. So let's try that capital T once more, see what else I can do. Maybe that, just to make that first one a little bit more distinctive. Prefer that, I think, to that. Just add a bit more to it. Yep, do that, no more. Just need that up there. Is that overdoing it? Right, just bite the bullet and get on with it. Well, now the music's finished, I'll just chip in with a comment here. You'll notice I'm always holding the brush at the same angle, so the downstrokes, roughly speaking, are thick and the side strokes at a diagonal are thin. So you get this thin, thick effect, which comes out in the lettering. So the brush really does the work for you. I'll also say that if you've ever noticed and wonder what it is, my watch is monitoring what the iPhone is seeing through its camera, which is very useful when you're trying to do this work and film it at the same time. Another point to make, of course, is that with the brush you cannot push it up the canvas. You've got to drag it down every time. So you notice the letter E that I did is done in 2 movements from the top down each time. The same with that letter O there, look. There's the E. One or two things to show you before I finish. Let's just take the ink again and put it into this fairly substantial pot. As I said before, it's so that I can get the brush and clean it off without tipping it over. Couple of things here. First of all, if you get this in your clothes or you want to get it off, particularly off glass and stuff like that, sodium carbonate is what you use, not sodium bicarbonate, sodium carbonate. It's called washing soda in the UK. It's very, very useful. It's quite an old age remedy for cleaning, and it breaks down this acrylic ink really quite quickly. But if you do get it on your clothes, do that straight away. And this brush I'm using here, look, is a rigger brush. I suppose about 25 millimeters long, but it's a very long thin. So you can, this is the my testing back strip, by the way, so I can do what I want on here. You'll notice that it makes a long, simple line quite easily. Look. You can almost get it dead straight. It holds the ink for quite a long time too. So what I did on this writing on the other board, on the other piece, what I did on the other piece was to put some flourishes on the end of these. So I took all these end pieces and made them, and you can take this round, and it's very easy to guide it round to make curly whirly bits. When I come away from here, I pretend it's the shadow side, so the dark, that back side of it, and bring it round this way. So it tapers in, and then do whatever you feel. I mean, let's say for instance, I feel that this space needs filling here. I could take the bottom of this N and the G if I want, and sometimes best to start over this side, going that way. Sometimes nice to break just short of there. Let's just go. And again, I'm going to come this side. Can overdo this, so I will overdo this just because I'm showing you what I can do, but so I just feel as if the places need filling, so I might take this L and take it over here, shall I? Let's do that. So let's take again, start from the back of the letter there. You can actually hold this quite vertically there. You do need to practice, but yeah, it works quite well. So eventually I've decorated all the other letters on the main piece that I've shown you doing this. I think I've not overdone it. I'm quite happy with it. Well, there you go. It's not of the nature of Baha'is to confess. I'm not allowed to do that to anybody, but I will say that I didn't actually do all this prayer on the canvas because I ran out of space. But you don't, it doesn't bother you. The last line was, "Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise." It should be on the end of that, but it doesn't matter too much. Right, thank you very much for watching. I did do one or two other calligraphy pieces, as you may have seen, and I may do some more videos about them if that's what you want. You'll need to get back to me and tell me if there are any other questions, either about the calligraphy or the Baha'i faith. Please mention them below and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay, thank you very much for watching. And oh, by the way, over 900 followers on this channel, which is very nice. I've said before, my old channel, which had calligraphy and sign writing on, amassed 18,000 followers, and it's still climbing, and yet there's nothing going on it. But this one, just over 900. So if you do want to subscribe, it'll do you good. So there you go. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and you will see me next time. Okay, bye-bye.